What's going on, you guys? This is All1, and I'm going to be giving you guys another New World video. And with this video I'm going to be giving you guys is going to be a tank build. And with this tank build, it's only going to be used for PvE content, such as your dungeons and corrupt portals and whatnot. And, I mean, you could technically use this in PvP, but it honestly won't be as viable, honestly. But, I mean, I've used this in wars, and it helped. But honestly, this is just a dungeon build. It's not, or a PvE build. It's not something I would necessarily go for when it comes to PvP, which I would honestly go for something completely different. But, you know, to each their own. It's not terrible when it comes to PvP, but it's not a great option, or it's not a great option to go for in PvP. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and get started with your attributes. So I would not recommend going with these specific attribute points. It's because I'm set for DPS. But the thing is, you don't really need to worry about any other attributes except for Constitution. You want to be able to hit up to the 4th node. You want to get the 20% increase to armor because the reason why you want at least 200 Constitution, one, it gives you a lot more health, and two, having that 20% increased armor is going to give you more physical resistance, as well applying it towards your health with this, because this one increases max health by 10% of your physical armor, and then obviously if you add that extra 20%, then you're going to get even more health from this. So I would highly recommend stopping at the point to where you are at the 4th node. Having the 5th and the 6th node doesn't really matter. This one obviously doesn't matter too much because you're not, I mean, you can technically CC the enemies if you're running the stuns with the hammer or whatever, but I guess like the sword and shield also applies stuns. But again, I wouldn't worry about reaching the 300 node. And then the 250 is actually not bad. Having that 80% damage reduction when full health is actually pretty nice, but it's only good for those oh shit moments, or something like if you messed up a certain mechanic or an iframe or whatever you forgot to block. That's what it's nice for, but in reality you don't really need those two. Once you hit around level 60 and you reach this node, you should have around 11 to 12,000 health, and honestly having around there is going to be good enough for you to do Lazarus and Genesis. Obviously you gotta know when to block and whatnot. Now again, the reason why I went into strength and dexterity is because it's for a DPS build, but the thing is, the strength and dexterity also applies towards your sword and shield, so it's not a bad option. And what's also nice is the 50 points into dexterity is going to be pretty good because you get the 5% crit chance, and you're mainly going to be using light attacks anyways over heavy attacks when it comes to being a tank, because you want to just hit, block, and then occasionally use your abilities. So having that extra 5% damage to weapons or melee weapon attacks is going to be nice when it comes to light attacks. You don't need to have the heavy attacks though. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw on my gear. Yeah, my character is naked. So this is basically what I'm running. I think I got the right accessories. Con. And then what am I missing? A shield. Oops. And rapier. And this should be everything. Yeah. Alright, cool. So now I've got all my gear on and everything, and now you can see my constitution has risen up to 226. So obviously, I mean, I don't really need to invest the extra 15. It's because I didn't respec a while back, but yeah, as long as you can hit the 200 mark. So you will end up hitting the 200 mark once you get all your gear with Constitution. So as you can see, the only piece that I have that doesn't have straight con is my heavy helmet. It has strength and con, which is not really a bad thing, but it's not something I would go for. You obviously want to go for just straight up Constitution. And then if you don't have a good shield, I would highly recommend just going to your faction vendor, and buying whatever the not kite shield. Oh, this is the kite shield? I thought about the tower. That is actually not good. But yeah, you would actually want to buy the tower shield. I'm pretty sure this is the tower shield. Yeah, this is the kite shield. You don't want to get this. You want to get... It's weird that it calls it the kite shield. But anyways, you want to get the tower shield. It put kite shield under the description. But anyways, the reason why you want to get the tower shield over the kite shield or round shield is because one, it gives you the perks that you need from the faction runner. It gives you Constitution, Sturdy, and Hated. And then not only that, but Tower Shields also gets you the most blocking stability. Having a higher blocking stability will increase or decrease the amount of stamina that's being used when blocking. So it's going to make it really useful there. And I believe blocking stability also makes it to where you don't get staggered as much. But even then, I still find myself getting staggered sometimes. But what I've noticed is my stamina not being used as much as if I was using a round shield or kite shield. And then my accessories, the accessories don't really matter too much on what perks you have. If anything, if you can get perks that obviously give you like specific, not specific, but like damage reductions or what's it called, the cooldown reductions and stuff, like refreshing evasion is a good one. Reduces active cooldowns by 0.87% after exiting the dodge animation. So this is pretty nice, so you can get your cooldowns for your sword and shield skills and whatnot. But there is a perk that gives you like 0.8 or 0.6% health per second. So those would actually be very, very valuable for the tank. I would highly recommend if you have those to wear them. But you all mainly want to make sure you have Constitution in your accessories as well. So you want to make sure you have Constitution in everything. So the sword I'm using is called Curiosity Greed. I don't exactly remember where I got this, to be fair, but it gave me plus 12 Constitution, Hated, and Keenly Fortified. Not terrible perks. It's actually really good perks, but the only downside is you don't really crit as often as you would if you were a DPS and running a crit build or anything with crits, to be honest. But it's not terrible. And then I run a Rapier as my secondary. But let's talk about the sword for a second. A really good perk to have instead of Keenly Fortified would actually be Refreshing Move. The only reason why I don't run this sword is because it doesn't have Constitution, unfortunately. It has Strength and Focus. But it can still be used because I'm still going to be able to reach over 200 Constitution without Curiosity Greed. But I'd rather just have that extra plus 12 Constitution over the plus 8 and 4 Strength Focus. But the reason why Refreshing Move is actually really good is because when you get a group of enemies mobbed together, you do a single slice, it counts for every single one, and it'll reduce the cooldowns for all your skills by 2.6%. Obviously, it's only the skills that's the sword and shield. But your skills like Defiant Stance, that one I believe is a base of 45 seconds. You can have that skill back within like 10 seconds of just attacking a group of enemies. And you can have it back within like 15 to 20 seconds-ish when you're fighting a boss and you know when to attack with your light attacks. So, I mean, if you end up getting Refreshing Move with Hated and Constitution, I would highly recommend keeping that sword. Now, some of you are probably wondering why I run a Rapier for my secondary. And the reason why is because the Rapier has the fastest cooldown or fastest taunt out of all melee weapons. And the reason why I say that is because all of its perks that the Rapier has are cooldown perks, or a lot of them are cooldown perks. A really good option or other option would be the hatchet as well. And I don't have a tank hatchet. I did, but I got rid of them because I don't use it. But hatchet is a good option because you can get it has a pretty good radius with Berserk, but the only issue with running Berserk is once you swap off from the hatchet, Berserk no longer is active, so you're no longer getting that healing anymore. That's the only reason why I would ever run Berserk for a tank, is so that way you can get yourself heals. And then the hammer is actually a really good option, but the only issue is the hammer's taunt, which is the AoE stun. It's a very short radius. So the hatchet's Berserker, Rapier's Riposte, and Sword of Shield's Defiant Stance, they have the same radius in their AoE taunt, and it's pretty big. And then the hammer's AoE taunt is smaller. And the thing is, you have to actually hit the enemies with that stun in order for them to be taunted. So now let's go ahead and take a look at all the abilities I use on Sword of Shield and Rapier. So I got both of them, or pretty much all of my melee weapons except for Great Axe, completely maxed out. So as you can see, I went mainly into defender. So for shield rush, I got all the way up to improved rush. So when I use this on an enemy, they become weakened for 4 seconds. And the thing about weaken is it just reduces the enemy's damage, which is not bad. It's actually pretty nice. And then I use Shield Bash, obviously because it's a second taunt, but it's also nice because it's a stun. So there's gonna be enemies that can be stunned and knocked back or whatever, like the maidens. If you run Dynasty, uh, the maidens can be stunned or knocked back and knocked down. So having Shield Bash and having Shield Rush is gonna be very nice and very useful. And then Defiant Stance, which is a 45-second cooldown, but it is a taunt and it gives you and nearby allies a 30% damage reduction. I believe it's allies as well. For 8 seconds reduces the incoming. No, it's just yourself. So you only yourself gets the Defiant Stance buff, the 30% damage reduction. And then you're going to completely max this one out because once Defiant Stance ends, you get 15% of your max health back, which is super nice, super clutch. And then obviously you're going to unlock pretty much every single perk that it offers because it's all mainly defensive and tanking perks. And then obviously with Invigorating Bulwark, this is going to be super nice when it comes to tanking because there's going to be some bosses where you pretty much need to hold your shield up as much as you can because you're not going to have time to swing your weapon or let your stamina regen by itself. So when you do this, or when you apply this, you can use Shield Rush and get 15 of your stamina back, and then use Shield Bash right after, so you can reapply the taunt and get another 15 stamina back. And then when there's a group of enemy and your stamina is draining really fast, just use Shield Rush or Shield Bash. Probably Shield Rush because Shield Rush will hit. It's more than likely gonna hit enemies over the Shield Bash. But Shield Rush will hit the enemies, a group of enemies, and it'll give you 15 and higher amount of stamina back. And then you have Defensive Formation. While blocking, reduce damage to all allies within 2 meters by 30%, and it's a 1 second cooldown. So you block, and you will see a giant ring with shields around you. This is really nice for melee DPSs that are near you, just because it's a 30% damage reduction, which is freaking good. And then once you have with the last 3 points, you're gonna just go with Empowered Stab. So when you do one heavy attack or a successful heavy attack, you get 30% Empower. So that's actually pretty nice if you want to help put out some damage. And then I went with Precision, so my crit, I have a 10% crit chance increase for my swords. And then counterattack, when you block an attack, gain a stack of Empower, granting 3% damage increase for 5 seconds, can stack up to 5 times. So this is a 15% damage increase whenever you block, which is also really nice because you're blocking pretty much all the time. Now for the Rapier. As you can see, I went 2 into Blood and then 1 with Grace. So with Blood, I maxed out Tondo, but I wouldn't go for proper spacing, to be honest, at all until like it'll probably be one of your last abilities. And then Flurry, I would just go all the way up to Fleeting Strikes. So you want to get Fleeting Strikes on Flurry, and then on Tondo you want to go with And Again. The reason why you want And Again is because if you hit one of the targets, even if they're blocking, then the cooldown for this ability is reduced by 25%, which is really nice. And then obviously the most important perk is Refreshing Strikes. Reduces all cooldowns by 1%. You want to go with this 150%. And then another one is going to be Red Curtains. Critical Strikes reduce all cooldowns by 5%. So even though you might not have a high crit chance increase, it's still going to be very useful. And then you have Unnerving, which is whatever. I mean, you don't really need it. It's a 5% increase to enemies that are damaged by bleed or that have the bleed effect. So your Rapier does more damage. But again, it doesn't really matter. You don't really need it. But the other perks like Light Edge and Heavy Puncture, you don't need, and it's kind of a waste. So you're better off just getting Unnerving. In Guard, deal 10% more damage when your target has greater than 50% health. Not bad. It doesn't really matter because you're not a DPS. And then Controlled Breathing, plus 3 stamina on any hit. Super useful because what you could technically do is if you break your stamina while you're shield, you could just swap to Rapier and then hit them with the flurry or hit them with Tondo then flurry, and then you get your stamina back pretty much instantly. And then Perfectionist deal 10% more damage when your health is full. Obviously, if you have full health, you get more damage. It's really good. But most of the time, as a tank, you're not really gonna have full health. You might be missing some, but I mean, it's still good regardless. And then you have Swiftness, 3% haste for 4 seconds on any hit, can stack up 5 times. This doesn't matter. You can keep it or leave it, but I just kept it because the most important thing for riposte is to stop at priority. You don't really need lasting consequence because it's just a 2-second increase for stun. And the thing about stun is even when you stun an enemy, if they get hit by anything, they break out of stun. So having that extra 2 seconds doesn't matter at all, especially if you're in a group setting. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, you have Hatchet, which has Berserk as its taunt. It's 18-second cooldown. The only way that it would be really viable for a tank is if they also have Refreshing Move, so that way it's reduced on that. And then you have the Spear, which is a Vault Kick. The Vault Kick is terrible for tanking because you can miss with it, and it only applies to the enemy that is hit by Vault Kick. So I would highly recommend not using a Spear for tanking. It might be good for single target tanking, but not for groups or anything like that. And then Great Axe, I also wouldn't really recommend using it as a tank. I know I've seen a lot of people use it, but personally, when it comes to doing dungeons, especially like speed running dungeons and stuff, or you just want to do big pulls and clear the dungeon as fast as you can and whatnot, the Great Axe might not be the best option for a tank. It's better for a DPS to use it, especially since they can use gravity well, they can keep the enemies pulled in, and then they can start going ham with just cleaving through the enemies. But as a tank, using Reap isn't the best option because it's also a linear taunt. It's not a taunt that allows you to do an AoE. It'll hit every enemy in front of you, but it's not going to allow you to taunt enemies on the side or on behind you. And then you have the Warhammer, which Shockwave is a really decent, or more than decent, it's above average on the taunt because it is an AoE, but it's not a big radius. As you can see, it's a 3-meter radius, and it has to also hit the enemies in order for you to taunt them. So that's why I was saying Sword of Shield and Rapier is just the best option, because the thing about riposte, even though it's a riposte, and it, like you would think that it would only taunt the enemy that you end up riposting, it taunts everything around you. And again, it's the same radius as the Defiant stance. And Defiant stance, well, obviously it doesn't show the radius on there, and neither does Berserk. Yeah, they don't show the radius, but I would say the radius is about like 6, 7, maybe 8 meters. So it's a lot bigger than the Warhammer's taunt. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this video, or this guide. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys also a clip at the of Dynasty. Me and my friend ended up having the 2-man, the final boss. I did end up actually soloing this boss last night, but I completely forgot to record it because I just didn't think I was gonna have to solo it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you a clip of Dynasty where I was playing as a DPS at first, and then our tank died, and then I just swapped midway through to this exact tank build, so you guys can see how it works. But unfortunately, you won't be able to see like me doing ad pulls or anything like that. But I do have a video where I did actually tank throughout the whole Dynasty run, so you can watch how that gameplay looks and how the tanking looks there as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it does, then please go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section as well, and I will try my best to help you guys out to the best of my abilities. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is all day 1. Have a good day, good night, and enjoy the rest of the video. All my gears have. I fucking.
Oh, I can still give you the gear that I have.
No, just break it down.
God damn, Tori, man. Dude, you know the mechanic.
The first 3 attacks, you're gonna make okay. Just be stuck in animation. You gotta block that. You gotta block all this. Move to the sides. Move to the side.
Emilio died. Fuck me, dude. Woo! No, you don't want to punch me. Oh no.
Hopefully you keep having aggro. Let me know if she's on.
She's not. She's aiming at somebody else, which is Tori and you now.
Oh no. Alright, I swapped to tank.
Wave.
Yeah,
Tank died. I mean, not tank. Healer.
yeah, it's whatever.
I just don't think you should. Wait, did you just say you just started being a healer? Fuck.
This is gonna be. Oh, we saw the fucking summoner first.
Summoner, right? Yeah.
Summoner's gonna fuck us up. Get this spear, dude. He's right next to me.
Alright, I'm coming.
Let's get.
You gonna get rid of that?
What's the summoner? You got it? Oh, there's the summoner.
Summoner died. Just, I want to go res him. Oh shit.
Kill the musketeer. The musketeer is gonna fuck me up. The boss is gonna spawn soon.
Got the musketeer. Watch out. I'm gonna get him. Okay.
She's throwing block. Make sure you're blocking. Come to me and block.
Oh, she's through the. Oh, fuck.
We're good. We're good.
Oh! Yeah.
Fucking.
Ow, bitch. Watch out. Oh.
Oh no! Heal!
Rain. Ah! Oh god, that still hit me.
Come on, dude. I just healed.
Oh.
Please got me trapped in the corner.
Rain. Ah! Oh, that was not what I wanted to do.
Hello?
Ah, you son of a bitch, man. Oh no! That killed me. What the fuck? Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Ah! Let me run. Let me run. Train! Damn it! Not what I wanted. Oh my god, thank you for missing.
I feel sorry, right? I feel like somebody had to keep putting in football.
Oh, get me out of there, thank God! What the fuck?
Just take a knee, just take a knee.
Oh no! That actually aimed at me. Get me out of there!
Oh, you got Oh, you got more.
No.
Ooh.
Ah.
Bro, he's almost dead.
How much health do you have?
I'm at 11. I have full health. That was like 6k. Oh, what the fuck am I doing? I'm so stupid, bro.
Please don't die, please. I beg you. Ah!
Oh my god, I could barely get to the corner right there.
Thank you, God. God! Thank you, Lord Jesus! Fuck. Fuck.
Who needs a healer, bro?